Hi friends, how are you? Fine? Is there any patient around you? If it is there, please inform, okay? And you have to be very cautious about it. You have to take care. But you know children, during this pandemic situation, all have become very selfish. Don't you think like that? Surely. But you know, if we are selfish, we can do progress. What is my observation is that. It's not like that you have to agree with me only. But each and every one is selfish in this world. Each and every one is selfish. Now you people ask me, how can you say, ma'am, each and every one is selfish? We teachers are not selfish. We are delivering the knowledge to you. And so we are not selfish. But little bit somewhere we are selfish. You can see children around us, many animals and plants and organisms are there. But each and every one is selfish. Consider one situation. Suppose two dogs are there and if I put a piece of chapati in front of them, they will struggle, they will fight and they will grab that piece of chapati. So he becomes a selfish. What do you say children? In my home, my son is also says me, Mom, you are so selfish. Then I says, how can you say child? How can you say I am selfish? I am preparing whatever you want for you. Then he says, no, whatever you like it, you are doing at home. Whatever you like to eat, that only you are preparing. Then I advise my son, if you don't like, you do yourself then. And then in this pandemic situation, he learned so many things. How to prepare the food and all that. Can you prepare the food? Can you make this? I think you can make the noodles. You can make the Maggies. Right? I think you people can prepare. Really, can you prepare the food molecule? Think on it. Then my son also says, yes, I can prepare myself. But when we were discussing among ourselves, then I told him, no child, you cannot prepare your food. Then he says, how can you say? Then I says, you, me, nobody can prepare the food. Then he asked me, then who can prepare the food? Then I says, only and only plants can prepare the food. None of can prepare the food. Then he says, what you are doing then? You are also preparing chapati, dal and rice. Then I corrected him that I can only cook the food. I cannot prepare my food. I cannot prepare food for everyone. Only the plants and plants only can prepare the food. And that's why the plants are called as the producers. So this conversation was going on, and same way the conversation is there in this class also. So let us find out how the plants can prepare the food. How the plants can prepare the food. Mark a difference between preparation of the food and cooking the food. The grains, rice, jawar, wheat, that we cannot prepare. We can only cook. I can boil the rice grains and then I can prepare and then I can cook the rice. But I cannot prepare the grains of rice, grains of wheat. That I cannot prepare. Then who can prepare? Only plants and plants can prepare the food molecule. Exactly. How they can prepare the food molecule? What is the process? So many questions will be there in your mind. And let us find out by one of the process, that is photosynthesis. So this is a photosynthesis process is there through which plants can prepare their food. You must have heard this word right from 3rd standard. Can anybody tell me the definition of the photosynthesis? Yes, surely many can tell me the definition of the photosynthesis. How? Plants can prepare their own food. You can see the word prepare. Plants can prepare their own food. Not only there, but they can prepare the food for everyone. But you must remember that word, each and everyone is selfish. Then what about the plants then? Really the plants are selfish? Let us find out whether the plants are selfish or not. Okay, by this topic, that is the photosynthesis. What is meant by the photosynthesis? The word indicates that photo means light and synthesis means the preparation. With the help of sunlight, with the help of light, plants can prepare their own food. That is called as the photosynthesis. I think no need to write the definition of the photosynthesis. Just you can note down, children. What is the definition of the photosynthesis? Plants can prepare their own food molecule. But what things are required for it then? How they are taking the food molecule? They cannot move. They are stationary. They cannot move from one place to the other place. They cannot locomote from one place to the other place. What they can do? Just they are on one place, but they can show the movement. I will correct my word that they shows the movement, but they cannot locomote. Okay. They cannot move from one place to the other place. Being a stationary, they can take the inorganic substances and they will prepare their own food molecule. What things are required for that then? Now just now we have come to the conclusion, that is the definition. Plants can prepare their own food, not for them, but they can prepare the food for the whole world, and that's why they are called as the producers. What they are called? They are called as the producers for the whole world. Now, under what category they can prepare the food molecule? Under one of the process that is called as a photosynthesis, and photosynthesis is considered as one of the step, that is a nutrition. Nutrition means intake of the nutrients, and one of the type of nutrition, that is the autotrophic mode of nutrition. So the plants are considered as under the autotrophic mode of nutrition, and so that they are also called as the autotrophs. What they are called? Autotrophs. What is meant by the autotrophs? Auto means self, tropic means again the nutrition. They can prepare their own food molecule, they are dependent on their own. What materials they required for that then? Let us see what are the raw materials required for it. What are the raw materials? Like if you say the definition, plants can prepare, but that the definition was there in 3rd standard. We are now in 10th standard, and so we have to elaborate this definition. So plants used to take carbon dioxide and water in presence of, I will write sunlight on the arrow as the sunlight is above, okay, or sun is there and chlorophyll is there, okay. They will prepare their own food molecule in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. It is very important one. And what is the food? That is C6H12O6. Along with that, they release oxygen. Now children, you can balance this reaction as we have learned in 1st chapter. There is 6CO2, 6H2O, and how many molecules of oxygen get released? There is 6 oxygen molecules get released. To remember the definition, this chemical reaction is very important. What they are taking and in whose presence they used to prepare the food molecule, that is very important one. Otherwise the definition will not be valued, isn't it? What they are taking? They are taking carbon dioxide, they are taking water, and what they used to prepare? Food molecule in the form of glucose, fructose, maltose, various substances are there, but in whose presence? Sunlight, and what is required? Chlorophyll. It means that this sunlight and chlorophyll, they will act as a catalyst. And most important thing is that they used to release the oxygen. Okay. Now let us see. Carbon dioxide, how they used to take carbon dioxide, how the water molecule enters inside, what exactly the procedure is there. Okay. Now, see, carbon dioxide will enter into the plant by the process, as it is a gaseous molecule is there, it enters by the process that is called as a diffusion. Okay. The same way, the water molecule also will enter into the plant by the process osmosis. Now these words are very important. Complete biology is dependent on these two definitions. What is diffusion and what is osmosis? Now we come to know water is going to, carbon dioxide also enters, water also enters. But from where and how? Now children, if you see, consider this as a plant. Okay, a sapling is there and below the roots are there. Okay, if I draw it, the root will show in this way. Okay, the cells are there, root cells are there, and outside suppose the water reservoir is there, and this is the water molecule is there. Now the roots, it doesn't have the mouth and all that, so that it can suck the water, but the water molecule is going to enter from higher concentration to the lower concentration inside the roots. when the water molecule moves from the region of high concentration to the region of low concentration, that process is through the semi-permeable membrane, that process is called as the osmosis. Once again I will repeat my definition. What is osmosis? The passage of movement of water molecule. You can note down, children. The passage of movement of water molecule from the region of high concentration to the region of low concentration through semi-permeable membrane. What is meant by semi-permeable? Okay, semi-permeable means selected substances will enter. Now you can see outside the soil is there, soil particles are also there and water is also there. But the root cells, they are having the plasma membrane, and the plasma membrane is a semi-permeable membrane and it allows only water molecule, not the soil particles. And so the plasma membrane will act as a semi-permeable membrane. That's why it is important. Now, how can we understand from the high region to the low region? For that one activity you can perform, children. You can take 2 potatoes, okay. In this way you can hold it. I have made the hole for it, okay. And so you can hang it. Then what you have to do it? You have to put a salt inside, okay. In this way you can put a salt inside it. Now the potato is in what condition? It is very watery, isn't it? It is very fleshy one. Inside too much water is there. Now the salt is completely dry. The water which is present inside the potato, it will try to go towards the drier substances. And whatever the cells are there in the potato, they will act as a semi-permeable membrane. So after some hour, the process is so slow. The osmosis process is very slow. Now from this potato, the water molecule will become wet because this potato will release water and it will get mixed into the salt. Slowly and steadily, from this the water molecule will goes down here, okay. Then the water molecule will come down again. So you can put a plate below it and then you can see the water molecule is coming outside, but that water molecule will be a salty one because the concentration from the region of high concentration to the region of low concentration, as the salt is completely dry. So many examples I can give you, children, about the osmosis process. So many examples are there. Just now the summer season has gone and that sweating was too much for us. It means that the outside medium, it is completely dry and in our body the water content is there and it will try to come outside and the skin will act as a semi-permeable membrane. So in this way, from the region of high concentration to the region of low concentration, the water molecule will move. And in this way, the water enters through the roots. Now again, you may have the question, how it will reach to the leaves then? Leaves are so on, too much on height, how it will reach? Remember children, हम लोग पैदा होने के बाद सिस्टम्स तैयार होते हैं क्या रे? एक बार पैदा हो गए, फिर हार्ट आ गया, फिर लंग्स आ गया, ऐसे होता है क्या? No, right? So in what way? Right from the sapling condition, if you see at the time of germination, it has a leaves, okay? And so by the osmosis process only, the water molecule from the root cells, it reaches to the soil level and very immediately it reaches to the leaf. Got it? In this way, the journey of the water molecule, you must have understood. In this way, the water molecule enters into the plant and which can be utilized further for the process of the photosynthesis. The same way now, what about the carbon dioxide? Carbon dioxide also enters by the process of diffusion. What is meant by the diffusion then? The diffusion is the process, you can write down the definition, children. The passage of movement of any molecule now, okay. The passage of movement of any molecule, that may be the solid, liquid or gases. The passage of movement of any molecules, in bracket you can write down solid, liquid and gases, from the region of high concentration to the region of low concentration. Same definition is there, only you have to escape that word, reduce that word, that is through semi-permeable membrane. You have to omit that word and instead of that you have to write without semi-permeable membrane. Now once again I will repeat my definition. the passage of movement of the any molecule in bracket solid, liquid and gases from the region of high concentration to the region of low concentration without semi-permeable membrane. Now to understand the diffusion process, many examples. Now the diffusion process may occur solid, solid, liquid, liquid, liquid gas, any molecules the diffusion process will occur. Even solid to solid also diffusion process occurs. Diffusion process is also very slow. Okay. Now how can we understand the diffusion process then? A very simple and day-to-day life example I can tell you. You know, oil pastel colors are there. You must have observed around the oil pastel colors that the paper is there, paper is wrapped. If you remove that paper and if you put all the colors in one box, what you will observe, children, after a few days? You will find out the colors get mixed, they get stick to each other. See, solid to solid diffusion is there, but it takes a time. It takes a time because the diffusion process and osmosis process is so slow. It requires. But you know, as the semi-permeable membrane is there, osmosis little bit is slower rather than the diffusion process. One more example of the diffusion, like you may be very fan of or the fond of the perfumes and all that, isn't it? But you know, your parents can identify very easily. Though you are going in one corner and spraying the perfume on your body, your parents will very easily understand because the diffusion process is there. In one of the corner, if you spray the perfume, it gets spread very easily. For that, the semi-permeable membrane is not required. So in this way, I can conclude that carbon dioxide and water enters into the plant by two processes, that is diffusion and the osmosis. Now you understood the entry of the both the raw materials, right? Everyone understood what we have seen? The definition of the photosynthesis: plants can prepare their own food by taking carbon dioxide and water in whose presence? Sunlight and chlorophyll. Now what steps are there involved in the photosynthesis? Let's see. Okay, what are the steps are there? First of all, I told you the entry of carbon dioxide and water by the process of diffusion and osmosis respectively. Now what happens after that? What happens after that? What is the role of sunlight and what is the role of chlorophyll? Chlorophyll is a green pigment which is helpful for the process of the photosynthesis. Now you may have the question, ma'am, only green plants can prepare their own food? I used to ask many times the question, children, tell me, plants are green in color? Children used to say, yes ma'am, plants are green in color. But make a difference. Plants are not green in color. Only leaves are green in color. Okay? And only leaves can prepare the food molecule. So that the leaves are called as the food factory. Okay? Inside the leaf only the plants can prepare. Now again question may be there in your mind. Only green leaves, because you can see in the garden, non-green colored leaves are also there. Whether they can prepare the food or not then? Definitely. Each and every plant can prepare the food molecule. Like how the green pigments are there, which is the chlorophyll is called, like we also have the pigment in us. That is called as the respiratory pigment. The same way in plants also, the chlorophyll is one of the pigment which has a green color. Along with this pigment, or there are various types are there. That is, carotenoids are there, then xanthophyll is there, then anthocyan is there, phycobilins are there. These are various types of the chromoplast. But along with this chromoplast, the chlorophyll A is present. Okay. If you see the brown color leaf is there, and it is a fleshy one, you must have seen in a garden plant, show plants are there. If you tear that leaf, no, you can observe inside that the green particles are there, and that green particles indicates chlorophyll A. Okay. What it is called? Chlorophyll A. This is the site of photosynthesis. Okay. This is the site of photosynthesis. I can show you in this diagram. Children, you can see this is the cross section of the leaf. Okay. The green particles you can see, and inside you must have seen this is the outermost covering of the leaf, which is guarded by the cuticle or waxy layer is there, and below it the chlorophyll is there. Okay. So this is a chlorophyll, and below you can see parenchyma tissues are there also there, which store the air, and downside what is there? Again one more layer is there. This is epidermis, endodermis, and this is called as the mesophyll. Okay. You can see in the diagram also, this middle layer, chloroplast is there. Okay, this is the air sacs are there, that is parenchyma. This is the stomatas are there on the lower surface of the leaf. Children, you must be knowing about the leaf. Okay, this is a leaf. Leaf has two surfaces, ventral surface and dorsal surface. The surface which face towards the soil, that is called as a dorsal surface. Basically, the small particles, tiny holes are present on the dorsal surface only. The face of the leaf which face towards the sunlight, that is called as a ventral surface. And on that, number of the stomatas are less rather than on the dorsal surface. Okay, other parts, you know, this is margin, midrib, veins are there, many parts are there inside the leaf, and this leaf is called as a simple leaf. Okay, so on the lower surface of the leaf, you can see here, on the lower surface, that is on the lower epidermis, number of stomatas are there. You can see, this is the stomatas are there. You can see this is the guard cells. Many times this question is asked, draw the diagram or label the diagram, children get confused about that. Okay, so this is the stomata, pore is there. This is kidney shaped called as the guard cells, and inside that the dotted like structure is there, that is a chlorophyll or the chloroplast. Okay, note down the markings also. Okay, so the chlorophyll A, which is the site of the photosynthesis, and the chlorophyll A is present inside the middle layer, that is mesophyll. If I ask, if the question is would be there, what is the exact site of photosynthesis? What do you have to write it? Chlorophyll, chloroplast, again mesophyll layer of the leaf. If you go in detail, again I tell you, the chloroplast structure is there. The chloroplast structure, you can see, if you draw the 3D structure of the chloroplast, a coin-like structures are there, that is called as the thylakoids, and thylakoids are arranged like a coin-like structures, that is called as the grana. This is called as the grana, and one is called as the thylakoids. Exactly process occurs on the thylakoids. If you are going to write this thylakoids, no, nobody can deduct your marks. Got it? So what is the exact site of the photosynthesis? If you write thylakoids, okay, mesophyll, okay, chlorophyll also, okay. Done? Now, the chlorophyll A plays very important role. Inside the chlorophyll, where is the chlorophyll is there? Inside the leaf. Okay. And the water molecule is reaches to the leaf now. Just now we have seen from the root, it goes to the stem, and on the stem there is a leaf, and inside the leaf the stomata, till that water molecule reaches. As soon as the water molecule reaches the stomata, these guard cells are there, the guard cells becomes full of water. Okay, and as soon as it becomes full of water, it gets stretched outside and get open. This is called as the opening of stomata. And you know, whatever the water is required, it will be utilized, and remaining water, excess of water, get lost. Okay, so that process is different one that I will explain. The process is called as a transpiration. So opening and closing of the stomata, it influences the photosynthesis process. But opening and closing of the stomata, it doesn't depend only on the water, but also it is influenced by the hormones. The hormones in the plant is called as a phytohormones. So basically the auxin hormone is responsible for it. You can note down for your NTSC exam also. Like whenever the water molecule is enter into the guard cells, it get opens. And the loss of excess of water, that is by the process of transpiration, it becomes closing of the stomata. So opening and closing of the stomata is helpful for the exchange of the gaseous molecules. That's why it says, as soon as the stomata get opens, carbon dioxide will enter into the stomata. Okay, and as soon as the stomata get closed, what will happen? Again the process is going on. Now, but what is the role of sunlight over here then? We understood the chlorophyll is the site of photosynthesis, but what is the role of sunlight? As I told you children, one of the scientists was there. Okay, his name was Robert Hill. He was also having many questions about it. He observed the chemical reaction of the photosynthesis. Many theories were there, many research was there. The question was there, whatever the oxygen is released in the chemical reaction of the photosynthesis, from where it get released, whether from the water or from the carbon dioxide? That was the big question. Because in the carbon dioxide you must have seen the oxygen is there, dioxide. In water also the oxygen is there. So that scientist was there, he was very clever and he proved from where the oxygen get released. Okay. So according to him, what happened? When the water molecule is there, we can write HOH also. That is a water, isn't it? Now, when the sunlight falls on the water, okay, it gets splits. Hydrogen gets separated and oxygen gets separated. Okay. And that process is called as the photolysis of water. What it is called? Photolysis. Photo means light, lysis means breaking down. Whose breakdown? Water molecule get break down. Okay. What happened? Water molecule get break down in whose presence? In sunlight. Now, this water, the hydrogen is there. Okay. Hydrogen goes towards the carbon dioxide. And now what is going to be prepared? Carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Now numbers can be changed. So this formula is going to be prepared and that can be stored in the form of energy. Because you people are taking glucose, no? And that gives quick energy. So that this is the, or you can say, this is what type of energy? This is a chemical energy. Which energy was utilized? Solar energy was utilized. In which form it is get converted? It is converted in the form of chemical energy. Right? So in this way, I can say now, in chemical language, addition of hydrogen, it means that the reduction of the carbon dioxide, isn't it? Addition of hydrogen, that process is called as a reduction. Right? So hydrogen goes to the carbon dioxide and what is prepared? Glucose is prepared. What is left then? Glucose, oxygen is left. And so the oxygen get released. In this way, the plants are preparing their own food for themselves, but as they store in the form of fruit, that we can utilize it. Isn't it? So, this is the process, that is a photosynthesis process. Can we have the steps then? What are the steps involved in the photosynthesis then? But as you know, we know what are the steps are there. But the process goes on continuously. We cannot bifurcate all these steps. What the first is there? That is, first step is that entry of carbon dioxide. By which process? That is diffusion. As it is a gaseous molecule is there, that is called as a diffusion. Then, what is the next is there? Entry of water molecule is there. By which process? That is osmosis. Okay. Then what happened? Photolysis. What is under the photolysis? Breaking down of water molecule in whose presence? That is in the presence of sunlight. Then fourth step is there what? That is reduction of carbon dioxide. Okay. Reduction of carbon dioxide. And what we can say? Fifth one step, that is conversion of, which step? That is conversion of solar energy into chemical energy. Right? So these are the steps involved in the photosynthesis. Which steps are there? Once again I will repeat. Entry of carbon dioxide by the process of diffusion, where? Into the stomata. Okay. There is opening and closing of the stomata is there. Same way the water molecule enters from the root side. It reaches to the soil level. By that process, that is osmosis. I believe you must have noted down these definitions. Then the photolysis occurs in the presence of sunlight. As there is a sunlight, okay, from the upside, and so that the plants or the leaf can utilize it. Then the reduction is there. As the photolysis is there, hydrogen and oxygen get separated. Hydrogen goes to the carbon dioxide, and what is going to be prepared? Carbohydrate are going to be prepared, and the oxygen will be released. But you know children, the photosynthesis is what type of process? It is an anabolic process. Which type of process it is? It is a anabolic process. What is meant by the anabolic? You must have heard somewhere these words. Anabolic, catabolic, metabolic. बहुत अच्छे लगते हैं words है ना ये? I like these words. Anabolic means this is a constructive reaction. Catabolic means it is a destructive reaction. And metabolic, that is a combination of anabolic and catabolic. Constructive means, you can see, in organic substances used to take, like carbon dioxide, water, even some of the minerals also used to take, which is present inside the water, and then the complex substances are going to be produced. Okay. So this is a complex substance is produced, that's what is called as anabolic process. Okay. Exactly opposite, the respiration is the example of the catabolic reaction. So these are the steps involved in the process of the photosynthesis. Okay. Now, as I says, I will be firm on my sentence. Plants are also selfish. You can see here, if the plants are going to release the oxygen, okay, they don't require oxygen. They require. They are also living things. If they can do the photosynthesis, they will do respiration also. This is very basic characteristic of living thing. So whatever the oxygen they will release through the process of the photosynthesis, they will utilize same oxygen for themselves in the process of respiration then. What do you think? Am I correct? They will utilize no oxygen. So plants are also selfish. Even it is observed in the industrial areas also, as the soot particles get accumulated on the surface of the leaf, they are not ready to leave the oxygen. Then what we can do? It will be very problematic then, isn't it? If the plants decide that I will not leave oxygen, these human beings are so selfish, they are cutting down the trees. So why I have to release the oxygen for them? Then what we can do? Don't you think it will be the biggest problem? Though we consider today's plastic problem is there, but it will be the bigger problem then. Then how the food molecule will be prepared then for us? What we will eat? मुझे तो ऐसे लगता है बाद में टैबलेट्स आएंगे, प्रोटीन के टैबलेट लो, ग्लूकोज के टैबलेट लो, फिनिश. प्लांट्स के ऊपर कौन डिपेंड रहेगा? Doesn't it? But it should not happen, children. Or if you go in detail, if you go in very deep, we will observe that plants are not selfish. Okay. Rather than I can say, little bit they may be, but they are doing work for us. They are doing work for us most of the time. They are selfish little bit because it's their right for the survival. And for the survival purpose only, they are taking the oxygen. How much oxygen is released during the photosynthesis? About that only 10% oxygen is utilized for themselves. That is for the process of respiration. It means that during the process of the photosynthesis, if 100% oxygen is released, how much they will do it? Only 10%. But mark that they are also living things. It doesn't mean like that at the daytime they will do the photosynthesis and night time they will do the respiration. No. Both the process goes on simultaneously. Whatever the photosynthesis there goes on, only thing is that at the daytime sunlight is present, and so that the photosynthesis rate is higher than the respiration, but at the daytime the photosynthesis gets stopped and the respiration will become dominant. Okay. So both the process goes on simultaneously. They utilize the oxygen but in the less percentage. So this is the photosynthesis. But why this process is important? You must have observed that they are preparing the food for us, not for us, for the whole world. Okay. Apart from that, it releases the oxygen also, and which is very important. Without oxygen we cannot survive. So this is the very important fact or important part of the photosynthesis, is prepare the food as well as it releases the oxygen for us. So I hope children you must have understood about this topic. Okay. The concepts may be clear. If you have any doubt, you can ask anytime. Stay home, stay safe children, and be a little bit selfish. Okay. Thank you.